This is Jessica with Black Business Live Television, and I am here at the Heart and Soul screening documentary for Dylan Calaby, and I'm speaking with the director and editor. Nice to meet you,
yeah.
Michael Hamilton. And so tell us about this film and how was the process of, delivering this story so everyone can learn about Dylan and what happened to him?
Yeah, no, just a quick kind of backstory. Dylan and my kid went to the same school at Ridley College, and when I went out there for a visit, took the kid out there, I met the coaches, and they were telling me some of the players they had, and he said, oh, one of these kids has a crazy story, and he told me about the heart transplant, and I was just blown away from what this kid had gone through, still going through, and endured. He had a heart transplant. I almost want to say it was less than a year that he was playing again. So they were just kind of like, we want to share that, and they knew that I was a filmmaker, and they're like, can you help us kind of tell that story? And then, I was like, absolutely, 100%. It's worth, people need to hear about this. So we just kind of teamed up, and then we put out like a little short piece, and here we are today.
Yeah, it's incredible that he's come so far, and you said he's still overcoming. He's still going through obstacles, right?
Yeah.
And what type of obstacles is he going through?
Well, I mean, I guess obviously I'm not a doctor, but when you do have a transplant of any sort, whether it's heart, kidney, or liver, whatever, you got to make sure that your body doesn't reject it, right? So there's that process from after the transplant, and they got to monitor that the body doesn't reject it. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's one of the big things, and it's all new for him, right? And it's not like he's just a regular guy that plays no sports and had a transplant. This guy's an athlete. Yeah. He was a top tier athlete before this, and he's trying to remain on that level. So he's putting his body through a lot of, ups and downs and pressures and stresses. So they got to be able to monitor that it's not overworking it. And so there's been a little bit of scares here and there, just like, we got to reel it back a bit. So that's kind of been his journey after the transplant, is just the roller coaster ride of making sure that he's okay. That's the first thing, right? So I think every day, every month, every year is always just a caution, right?
Yes.
So.
And what was the process of putting together this film? Like, what parts of the story were you including in this documentary?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. When you're making a film, there's a couple of ways to doing it, where it's called a follow doc, where you're actually live in the event taking place in real time and you're following the action.
Yeah.
This wasn't the case. This had happened. Dylan had went through a lion's share of the stuff he had to go through, and we were picking up with him kind of at the tail end. So in order to tell that story properly, you need someone that can really articulate, that's well-spoken, and can really take you through the process. Dylan was amazing in that. But it was always important for us to show, obviously, what happened to him, but the resilience. I wanted to make sure that people saw the things that he had to endure and to overcome, and still has to overcome. And the message at the end of the day is that it's positive. He could have quit time and time again, right? But he never did. He was resilient, and he just kept focusing on what he needed to do to keep healthy and just be able to play basketball. So I wanted to make sure that his drive and his passion was always intact in the film, and I think we did that.
Okay, and today is the world premiere. What do you want, or what do you think the audience is going to take away after watching this film?
No, that's a great question. I think it's a three-pronged answer. The first thing is it's inspirational to anybody, any walk of life, right? Whether if you're an athlete, not an athlete, anything you're going through, watching this kid and what he's had to endure is inspiring, right? we all have problems. We all wake up. We all have things that we got to overcome. But by watching someone that's dealing with life or death situations, it kind of like helps you, like, it's not so bad what I got to deal with, right? I'm not so tired to actually do what I need to do, or, oh, I got so much on my plate. You know what I mean? It's just inspiring to be able to get through whatever you got to go through. Secondly, I think it gives people that are going through similar situations like Dylan a blueprint to say, hey, I did this, I'm doing this, watch my story, right? And it gives them hope that, okay, I'm actually at the same place that you were, I can actually do this. And I think the last thing is just like, if you were ever thinking about being a donor, I think what this film does is it makes it tangible to say, like, if I'm selfless and giving my organs, it could end up in a body, someone as great as Dylan, you know, as a fine young man, and it just makes it tangible. So I think that's the kind of things that this film will hopefully do for
Most
people.
definitely. It brings awareness to being an organ donor. I don't think a lot of people realize the importance of it, and this film will bring that message. Most definitely.
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing this film.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Well, thank you for speaking to us today, and we're going to see the world premiere of Heart and Soul.
Thank you.
You're welcome.